Did you see that? Heartland Season 19 premiere just dropped, and fans are completely shaken. A twist arrived in the very first episode, something no one expected, something that could change the entire course of the season. The premiere wasn't just another gentle ride through family drama. It was a sharp turn that left even the most loyal viewers stunned. Today, we're breaking it all down: the emotions, the build-up, and the twist that has every Heartland fan talking. The premiere of Heartland Season 19 didn't waste a single moment. From the opening scene, it was clear this wasn't going to be an ordinary start to a new chapter. Instead, the show leaned into everything fans love: family bonds, emotional struggles, and the beauty of life on the ranch, while also hinting that something bigger, something darker, was on the horizon. For longtime viewers, this episode felt both familiar and fresh. It carried the comforting heart of Heartland, but wrapped it in a tension that made every scene feel important. Season 18 left us with several unresolved threads, and naturally, fans were buzzing with questions in the months leading up to the new season. Where would Amy's journey take her now? How would Lou balance her leadership role with her personal struggles? Could Tim finally find peace, or would old conflicts rise again? These were the questions that sat heavy on fans' minds, and the premiere wasted no time placing them back into the spotlight. The first act of the premiere focused heavily on re-establishing the world of Heartland. We saw the familiar setting, the ranch bathed in soft light, horses grazing, the wide-open Alberta skies stretching endlessly above. This is the imagery that grounds the show, and it reminded viewers that Heartland has always been more than just its storylines. It's about a place that feels like home. But beneath the calm of the ranch, there was something stirring, an unease in the way characters spoke, in the quiet pauses between their words. Amy, as always, carried much of the emotional weight. In this premiere, she appeared both strong and vulnerable, someone who has learned from loss but still struggles with the future. Her connection to the horses once again became a reflection of her own journey, gentle, patient, but also uncertain. It's through Amy that viewers felt the first ripple of change, as her storyline hinted at choices that could alter the dynamics of the family. Lou, on the other hand, was presented in a state of constant tension. The premiere showed her juggling leadership responsibilities, dealing with community pressure, and trying to maintain control over her personal life. This tension served as a reminder that even in moments of triumph, Lou's world is rarely stable. For fans, it was both inspiring and heartbreaking to see her fight for balance. Tim's presence was strong and complex. His character has always walked a line between being a source of strength and a source of conflict, and this premiere leaned into that duality. He seemed restless, as if he knew something was about to happen but couldn't bring himself to admit it. That restlessness gave the episode a layer of suspense, preparing viewers for the storm that was about to break. And of course, Jack remained the emotional anchor of the family. His words carried the same quiet wisdom, but there was a heaviness in his tone this time. It was as though Jack himself sensed that the family was standing on the edge of something significant. His interactions with Amy and the others carried weight, almost as if he was preparing them for what was coming. This first section of the premiere worked like a carefully written letter to the audience. It was gentle yet purposeful, drawing us back into the lives of the characters while planting seeds of unease. Everything felt slightly off, as though the characters themselves were bracing for change. And that's what made the twist hit so hard later in the episode. It wasn't sudden chaos, but the slow build of tension finally breaking. The premiere reminded fans why they love Heartland: the warmth, the family bonds, the emotional honesty. But it also set the tone for a season that promises to test those bonds in ways we've never seen before. Season 19 isn't just about continuing the story. It's about redefining it. And in this introduction, we already felt the ground shifting beneath the ranch. Asterisk before the twist even arrived. The premiere of Heartland Season 19 took its time, reminding us where everyone stood after the emotional roller coaster of Season 18. The writers knew fans needed both a sense of closure and a fresh spark to begin this journey, and the episode carefully balanced both. This stage setting wasn't just a recap, it was a slow tightening of the strings, pulling us deeper into the story until the shock finally landed. Season 18 ended with Amy standing at a crossroads, not just in her career as a horse trainer but in her personal life. The grief she carried had softened, but it was still part of her. Fans left last season wondering, would Amy ever truly open her heart again? Or would she keep protecting herself by pouring everything into her work? In the premiere, that question still lingers in her eyes. We see her working with horses, calm and confident, yet there's a quiet hesitation whenever conversations drift toward her future. It's as if she's searching for something more, but afraid of what finding it might mean. That vulnerability becomes one of the strongest threads pulling us toward the twist. Lou's storyline also hung heavily over the premiere. As mayor, Lou has always been pulled between duty and family, but this season immediately showed how deep the cracks are beginning to run. She's strong-willed, ambitious, and determined to keep everything under control, but the premiere highlighted just how heavy that burden has become. From tense conversations in her office to moments where she tries to connect with her family but can't fully relax, Lou feels like a character who is spinning too many plates. Fans who have followed her journey could sense that her breaking point might come sooner rather than later. The premiere made it clear. Lou's choices this season will not only affect her but could ripple through everyone else's lives. Tim, ever the unpredictable presence, walked into season 19 with a mixture of confidence and unease. His relationship with his family has always been complicated, and in the opening episode that tension was on full display. He spoke with the same boldness, carried himself with the same pride, but behind his eyes was a flicker of doubt. The premiere hinted that Tim is hiding something, or perhaps struggling with something he doesn't want to admit. This subtle foreshadowing became one of the many puzzle pieces leading to the twist. Fans who know Tim well will tell you, whenever he tries to bury his fears, trouble always follows. Jack, the patriarch and soul of Heartland, served as both a comfort and a warning in this premiere. His wisdom, usually steady and reassuring, carried a weightier tone. His advice to Amy felt less like simple guidance and more like preparation. The way he looked out over the ranch, the way he paused during family moments, almost felt like he was sensing the storm that no one else could see. The stage was being set, and Jack was the quiet voice reminding viewers that no matter how strong the family is, change is coming. Even secondary characters were given moments that hinted at larger roles to play. Georgie's absence and silence in certain scenes felt intentional, like a piece of the puzzle being saved for later. Katie and Parker's youthful energy was used to remind us of the future that still exists in Heartland, a future that could be shaped by the choices the older generation makes now. Every detail in the premiere, from side conversations to glances across the dinner table, felt carefully placed to build the tension. The beauty of Heartland has always been its ability to use everyday life to foreshadow bigger drama. The simple act of Amy brushing a horse, or Lou straightening papers on her desk, or Tim hesitating before speaking, these weren't just filler moments. They were clues. They told viewers that something was building beneath the surface. The premiere didn't rush to reveal its hand, but instead let the unease grow in small, almost invisible ways. By the time the twist arrived, the audience was already leaning forward, sensing that all this groundwork meant something bigger was about to break. The other important part of setting the stage was the mood. The cinematography leaned into warm, familiar tones. At first, the golden glow of the ranch, the comfort of family meals, the playful scenes with horses. But as the episode progressed, the tone subtly darkened. Shadows lingered longer, the music carried a more somber edge, and conversations ended with pauses that felt just a little too heavy. It was storytelling done with a steady hand, slowly guiding viewers from comfort into suspense, without them even realizing how deep they'd been pulled. This is what made the premiere feel so effective. It didn't rely on shock value alone. It earned its twist by carefully preparing the ground. The audience was reminded of everything they loved about the show: its heart, its warmth, its loyalty to family, and then gently nudged toward a place where those very qualities could be tested. By the time the shocking moment hit, it didn't just feel like a plot twist. It felt like the natural result of everything that had been building. In this way, the stage was perfectly set. Season 19 isn't just a continuation of the Heartland story. From its very first episode, it announced itself as a season of transformation, one that would challenge every character and every relationship. The premiere wasn't about tying up old threads, it was about loosening them, letting them fray, and preparing us for the unraveling that will follow. Asterisk. The episode itself was a slow burn, carefully building tension in ways only Heartland knows how. It began with a quiet morning at the ranch, the kind of opening fans recognize instantly: horses grazing in the mist, the sound of hooves on soft dirt, Amy's calm presence grounding the atmosphere. It was serene, even comforting, but there was something almost too quiet about it, as if the world was holding its breath. From the first frame, the show was whispering to its audience, "Pay attention. Something is coming." The first major beat centered around Amy. We saw her reconnecting with the horses in a way that felt deeper than usual. Her gentleness and quiet strength were on display, but so was her uncertainty. The premiere gave us glimpses of her struggling to find balance between her devotion to the ranch, her role as a mother, and the shadow of loss that still follows her. In one key scene, Amy paused mid-training, staring off into the distance as though something invisible weighed on her. It wasn't just grief, it was anticipation, a sense that change was knocking at her door. This was the first moment where viewers could feel the undercurrent pulling. Then closer to the twist, Lou's storyline quickly added pressure. She was seen shuffling between meetings, ranch duties, and her role as mayor, her energy sharp and restless. Every conversation she had carried an edge, as though she was fighting battles no one else could see. When she snapped at a small mistake during dinner preparations, the silence around the table said more than words ever could. Lou wasn't just stressed, she was unraveling. And the episode framed her perfectly as someone whose breaking point might align with the storm the family couldn't yet name. Tim's arc pushed that tension further. He entered the premiere with bravado, speaking with his usual confidence, but his actions betrayed him. A shaky hand on a coffee mug, a hesitation before answering Jack's questions, a moment of silence when he thought no one was looking. Tim was carrying something heavy. The writers cleverly let these cracks show just enough to unsettle the audience, planting seeds of doubt. What was he hiding? And more importantly, how would it collide with the rest of the family? Then there was Jack. In many ways, he was the anchor of the premiere, his wisdom and quiet presence a steadying force. Yet even Jack seemed off balance. His advice to Amy, "You've got to trust the future, even if it feels uncertain," wasn't just fatherly wisdom. It felt like foreshadowing, as though he knew that trust would soon be tested. Jack's eyes carried the weight of someone who had seen storms before, and in this episode, he seemed to sense another one brewing. The middle act of the premiere layered these: personal struggles with everyday life at the ranch, family meals, work with the horses, even laughter in small moments. But instead of easing the tension, these normal scenes only amplified it. Each smile felt fleeting. Each conversation carried an undercurrent of something unsaid. It was as though the ranch itself was holding secrets, waiting for the right moment to reveal them. And then came the build-up to the twist. The sky literally shifted, cinematography darkened, music softened into something heavier, and the camera lingered longer on faces as though capturing the calm before a storm. A scene between Amy and Lou became especially telling. What started as a normal sibling argument escalated into a heated exchange, one that exposed the cracks in their bond. The dialogue wasn't just about chores or responsibilities. It was about deeper fears, unspoken worries, and the weight of holding the family together. That fight left viewers shaken, not because of what was said, but because of what it suggested. Unity was breaking. And finally, the twist. Without spoiling it in detail, the premiere shattered the calm with a revelation that no one saw coming. A secret long buried rose to the surface, reshaping everything we thought we knew about the family's future. It wasn't delivered with melodrama, it was quiet, almost too quiet, which made it all the more shocking. One line, one revelation, and suddenly the world of Heartland tilted on its axis. Fans who had spent years finding comfort in this show were left gripping their seats, stunned at how quickly safety could turn into chaos. What made the twist so powerful wasn't just the content of the revelation, it was the timing. After an entire episode of subtle foreshadowing, the audience had been conditioned to expect something, but not this. And when it arrived, it didn't just change one character's path, it threatened to change everyone's. The ranch, once a symbol of stability, suddenly felt fragile. The family, once unshakable, suddenly felt vulnerable. The premiere ended not with resolution, but with silence. The characters stood in shock, the audience mirrored their expressions, and the screen faded with more questions than answers. It was a masterclass in storytelling. Take a world built on comfort and love, and show that even in the strongest families, one twist can turn everything upside down. Asterisk, the aftermath of the twist has left fans reeling, and that's exactly what makes this premiere so unforgettable. Heartland has always been about resilience, about how love and family carry people through life's hardest storms. But Season 19's opening didn't just remind us of that, it challenged it. For years, the ranch has been a symbol of stability, a place where no matter what happened, the family could come together. But this twist changed that idea completely. Suddenly, the foundation feels less certain, and the family bonds feel more fragile than ever. The implications are massive. For Amy, the revelation isn't just a test of strength, it's a turning point. She's spent seasons learning how to heal, how to move forward, but this moment forces her to face questions she may not be ready to answer. Fans online have already begun debating whether this will push Amy toward growth or back into retreat. Will she fight for her future, or will she once again bury herself in the past? Lou's arc is equally precarious. The pressure she carries as mayor was already threatening to pull her apart, but now the family tension has added another weight. The twist doesn't just affect her leadership. It strikes at her identity as a sister and daughter. How she responds will likely shape the emotional tone of the entire season. Fans are divided. Some believe Lou will rise to the challenge. Others fear this might be the moment where she breaks. Tim's role in this revelation cannot be ignored. If anyone is at the center of suspicion, it's him. His restlessness throughout the premiere wasn't accidental. Whether he's hiding guilt, secrets, or pain, the twist tied him directly into the storm. And if Tim is involved, the ripple effect on the rest of the family could be catastrophic. Viewers are already spinning theories. Is Tim responsible? Or is he simply another victim of the truth finally surfacing? Jack, the steady heart of Heartland, may be the one who holds the key. His sense of unease throughout the premiere now feels prophetic, as if he knew the past was bound to catch up with them. Fans are already praising his subtle performance, noting how his quiet warnings now ring louder after the twist. But even Jack, the eternal anchor, might struggle to hold everyone together this time, beyond the characters. The twist also reshapes the very essence of Heartland. For nearly 2 decades, the show has given fans a reminder of the strength of family and the beauty of simple living. But Season 19 has dared to ask a harder question. What happens when even the strongest family faces cracks too deep to ignore? The twist doesn't just set up drama, it challenges the very values that Heartland has been built on. Fan reactions online have been explosive. Social media is filled with shock, heartbreak, and endless theories. Some call it the boldest move the writers have ever made. Others say it feels like betrayal, and many are simply desperate to know what comes next. The community of Heartland fans, known for their loyalty and passion, is buzzing like never before. And that's the power of a moment like this. It doesn't just change the story. It ignites conversation, pulling fans even deeper into the world of the show. So what comes next? That's the question burning in everyone's mind. Will the twist tear the family apart, or will it bring them closer than ever? Will the ranch survive the storm, or will Season 19 mark the beginning of a new era for Heartland? The premiere didn't give us answers, it gave us possibilities. And in doing so, it set the stage for one of the most unpredictable and emotional seasons the show has ever delivered. One thing is certain, Heartland has never felt this alive. The premiere was more than just an episode, it was a promise. A promise that Season 19 will test our favorite characters, push their bonds to the limit, and remind us why we've stayed with them for so many years. And so, the breakdown ends with the same question fans are asking themselves. If the family can survive this twist, what can't they survive?